Hey everybody, Andy Passmore, Movement Mortgage. Hope everybody's having a great day. I've got a special guest with me today, Chuck Tolbert with All Star Home Inspection.
Hello everybody, good morning, good day.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for inviting me, appreciate it.
Chuck runs a company called All Star Home Inspections, and obviously he's a home inspector. But more than that, Chuck's also a friend of mine. We've been friends. We have been friends for a good while.
Yep.
But I wanted to invite him in today to talk about home inspections versus appraisals, some myths about home inspections, and those type things. And for the home buyers, potential home buyers out there, just some ideas and some things that you might want to get from Chuck about when you do buy a home, what to look for on a home inspector and those type things.
At least use a home inspector.
That's right.
Whether it's me or somebody else, so often the misnomer is, don't need a home inspector, I can look at it myself.
Right.
Don't want to spend the money.
How long has All Star Home Inspections been in business?
I've been in business going roughly on 12 years now.
12 years.
Yes.
Okay. So you've got experience in the business. You know
Been around the corner, started when the market was good, went through the crash,
Yeah.
and now we're continuing forward.
Yeah. So let's talk about some of those myths.
Okay.
Some of those myths, one of them is a home inspection is the same thing as a home appraisal.
Well, that's interesting you bring that up. I just was doing a little mini class with some realtors on new construction. We talked about a lot of buyers, particularly VA buyers, don't get an inspection done because they're under the misconception, or they've been told, don't need one because your appraiser's looking at the house. The inspector's role is to look at it from a functionality standpoint. So do things work? Is it getting hot? Is it getting cold? Is it open? Does it close? What the drainage is like? Are there issues that need to be addressed pre-sale? Are there maintenance things, deferred items? Things that the buyer should be aware of that maybe they don't need to be fixed right now, but they need to know that the air conditioner is 15 years old and they need to put it on their to-do list within the next 5 years. Okay. So the inspector brings a lot of knowledge to the table, and we're going to educate the buyer based upon what we see on the house. The house tells us a story.
Okay. So do you recommend everybody that's buying a home, whether it's an investment property, whether it's a second home, whether it's whatever type of home it is, do you always recommend a home inspection?
I do recommend a home inspection, even though, it's kind of like, well, you recommend it because you get paid. Well, yes, we get paid to do the inspection, but the inspector can help the investor who thinks it's a $10,000 repair job, and we get into it, it's a $30,000 repair job. Well, that takes his budget away. Or a buyer that's bought multiple houses. Well, I don't need an inspection because I've done this a bunch and I know what to look for. Is that buyer going to crawl in the crawl space?
Can you, as a home inspector, can you advise the buyer whether to buy the house or not?
We get that question after the inspection's finished. People go, well, would you buy the house? And my answer typically is, it's not for me to decide because I don't have to live in the house, but here's a list of things that you and your realtor need to discuss. Okay. And then you as the buyer can make that decision. If these things are not fixed, am I still interested in the house? Or what items would I like the seller to address that puts me in a better comfort zone when I move into that home?
Okay. So some people say it doesn't really matter which inspector you hire, just get a home inspection done and be done with it.
Not all inspectors are created equally, and typically the first question we get is how much? And remember, price is you get for what you pay for.
Right.
So you're not going to normally hire the most expensive inspector, and you definitely don't want to hire the cheapest inspector based upon cost. You want to hire the inspector that's best qualified to look at that property and whose personality fits yours as the buyer. If an inspector tells you, hey, hire me because I'm going to find everything, you probably don't need to hire that inspector because the inspector cannot find everything. We can't see in the walls. We don't know that heating and air system just had additional Freon installed in it so it stays cool because the seller didn't disclose it. So hire an inspector that fits your personality, that charges you a fair price and has the experience. If you don't want to hire, on your first time buyer, hire the guy that started last week.
Right.
That's two blind people leading each other through the house.
A myth that the inspector will uncover every single thing that's wrong in the house.
Not possible.
Right.
Like I said a minute ago, there's things we can't see. Inspections based upon a period of time. So we're looking at, right now it'd be, 10 o'clock in the morning. If we do our inspection, we're there 2 hours. We're looking for that time frame, and within this 2 hours is what we found, and this is what we know about the house. we can leave the house and the dishwasher quits. A tree falls on it.
Sure.
You know, so we're looking at what we can see, what we can touch, and what we can feel and operate to give that buyer, or even a seller, if we're doing a seller's inspection, enough information to make an educational decision of what they need to do next.
Okay. Buyers don't belong at the home inspection.
Want the buyer to be there. You know, a lot of times an agent will say, you know, what time do you want the buyer to be there? I don't mind if they're there at the very beginning. But if they show up the last 15, 20 minutes, that's great also, because we want them to have an understanding. I can go over what I find while I'm there and give them a three-dimensional overview, as opposed to them getting the email and getting a report and they're just looking at what the words are. But if I can show them and say, this is what the problem is, these are some possible solutions, then they have a better understanding of what they can do to make that decision to move forward. Now with technology, you have smart refrigerators, smart stoves. I mean, you practically have to read the manual before you can operate things. So we
Read the
kind
manual?
of,
Who
yeah,
does that?
exactly,
Who
with
reads the
pictures.
manual?
So we have to educate them on, you know, this is how you do this. Is a conduction oven. It's not going to come a cooktop. It's not going to come on until your special pot sits on top of it.
Okay.
You know, so
Sure.
Education. It's all about education.
Brand new homes, they don't need to be inspected.
You know, that's interesting. We were talking earlier today with a group of people, and we had a house that last year we did, brand new construction, had passed the final certificate of occupancy by the county, which means the county said it's okay to move in, and had not completed, the builder had not completed the ridge venting. So there was no ventilation in the attic, which causes a problem of attic getting hot, shingles getting hot, lack of airflow, higher heating and air costs, lower lifespan of the shingles. And we found that during the inspection.
Okay.
And brand new doesn't mean it works. I mean, how many of us have bought stuff at Christmas or for birthdays and have to take it back because we open the box and it's not functional? So we've had ovens not working, microwaves not working, water leaks under the house, roof leaks, things like that.
Well, I don't know about you, but I've, bought those desks and stuff in a box, and you put them together, and just because it's brand new doesn't mean it's right, because I may have missed a screw or may have missed another component, right?
Or you're missing a whole bag of screws and trying to figure out how to put it
Yeah,
together.
usually you always have that one screw left over, and you go, oh no, what did I forget?
Yep.
Home inspectors can predict the future on your house.
If I could do that, you and I would not be having this conversation.
You're right, absolutely right.
We'd both be doing something else.
That's right.
No, you can't predict, but we can advise, the average lifespan of a particular product or material is this long.
Okay.
And
Shingles will last this long.
yeah,
Hot
exactly.
water heater will last this long.
Exactly. So now your hot water heater's 20 years old and the lifespan's 15. You're 5 years beyond the lifespan.
Sure.
Put it on your replace soon list. It's not if the air conditioner's going to quit working, it's when. It's not if the water heater's going to quit working, it's when.
A good house will pass the inspection.
We tell people it's not a pass or fail. It's not a test.
Okay.
It's this is what the house is. This is what's going on. And you as the buyer make the decision as to what you're thinking of, if it's in your comfort zone. We've had buyers walk away because a light bulb's burn out and they think they have electrical problems. And we've had buyers buy houses and needed a whole brand new roof. It's all about what you're comfortable working with.
Any final word that you would tell a home buyer about inspections?
I think if you're gonna hire a home inspector, whether you're listing a house and you're doing a pre-listing inspection, so you can really control the costs and figure out what you need to do before you put the house on the market, or if you're doing a pre-purchase inspection, hire a qualified inspector, ask the right questions, and the biggest question I always tell is, ask the inspector to tell you a story about a problem they've had and how they resolved it.
Well, Chuck, thanks again for coming today. I appreciate it. Hopefully everybody out there has got a lot of insight on home inspections, the differences between a home inspection and appraisal. If you need more information, feel free to reach out to me. If you need to get in touch with Chuck, Chuck and I see each other at least once a week.
Yes, once a week.
At least once a week. And we'll be glad to help you. Thanks again for watching this video on home inspections.
Have a great day, everybody.
Have a great day. Thanks, guys.